Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Rhyme of the Times for the week ending 15th of July 2023. Titillation and speculation until the revelation, followed by the nation's conversation about the Sun's reputation and the BBC organisation and its investigation into a presenter on its new station. Hesitation over Ukraine becoming a NATO nation. Government elation at an elevation in industrial relations after pay body recommendations conclude negotiations. Hollywood consternation and trepidation over AI infiltration and escalation. The BBC had got itself into a stew about contents the week before of a tabloid coup. The Sun claimed a 17-year-old had been sent a lot of money by a BBC presenter. £35,000 had been sent, the paper affirmed, for the child to send explicit pics in return. And so cyber trolls from their dark rooms and settees started throwing out names like chucking confetti. Guilty till innocent, trial by social media, gluttons for salasti, becoming greedier, but there's nothing becoming about the depths of depravity that they were plumbing. Is social media a cesspit for such behaviour, or should it be considered a free speech saviour? If there'd been Twitter or the like back in the day, Jimmy Savile would have likely been locked away. But for every Savile there's a Paul Gambaccini. And once the send key is hit, you can't put back the genie. There's no turning back once the floodgates are released. Social media is a free-for-all, unpoliced. It gives good and bad intentions a powerful voice. You pays your money and you takes your choice. On Wednesday night the dam finally burst and the bums and crumbs could at last quench their thirst. Hugh Edwards, BBC's most known news presenter, was revealed as the scandal's front and centre. The Sun's work was done, so it called off the hounds. The police had looked with no criminality found. The BBC would continue with an internal process while Hugh dealt with his mental health prognosis. The guy is sick, but did anyone come out well? The Sun may have had a legit story to tell. Hugh Edwards is a high-profile tax-funded guy, which maybe justifies the public to pry. But tabloids often find facts are a bit of a bind and can spoil that eye-grabbing lurid headline. Hugh's victim had said the Sun's story was rubbish, but the newspaper still went ahead and published. And the BBC's response to the parents' complaint, in hindsight, perhaps hadn't been so great. But if the parents were really that displeased, who should they have gone to next? The Sun or the police? While in the UK Hugh had been burnt by the Sun, in southern Europe the Sun was burning everyone. The mercury was really feeling the strain, climbing to new heights in Greece, Italy and Spain. Meanwhile, further north in Vilnius, Lithuania, close enough to Russia to stoke Putin's mania, NATO held another major powwow. Honoured guest Zelensky was in no mood to kowtow. The Ukrainian president was bashing nations, not just Russia with its lies and machinations, but NATO countries with their apparent vacillations. His country, not surprisingly, is losing patience. He thinks it's absurd that NATO's unable to give his country a clear timetable of when they will be allowed to join the alliance to provide a defence against unhinged tyrants. Stoltenberg, of course, sees things through another lens. The NATO leader insists, wait till the war ends. So tension was felt between a Vladimir and Jens, but deep down they know they have to stay friends. And the UK Defence Minister got all defensive when addressing Ukraine and its counter-offensive, saying they should show NATO more gratitude. Putin will have noted Ben Wallace's attitude. Then on Saturday, Ben signalled his intention to stand down at the next general election. NATO also discussed the cluster bomb. Ukraine and the US say it's just a bomb. That's why the Americans have supplied a shed load, despite the indiscriminate way they explode. They are a danger to civilians because they're so random, which is why over 100 countries have banned them. But Ukraine and the US aren't on that list, and their argument to NATO went like this. The speedy end to this war justifies all means, and let's face it, Russia doesn't exactly fight clean. NATO doesn't agree, but nothing much was said, so Ukraine's use of cluster bombs will go ahead. Before the summit began, Turkey had agreed to drop its opposition to admit the Swedes, so Sweden will become NATO's 32nd member, which will do little to ease Russian distemper. On Thursday, junior doctors ran out of patients. At 7 o'clock a.m. they ran out on their patients. They're downing their stethoscopes for 5 whole days, demanding better conditions and increased pay. 35% is what the doctors ordered. The government says it cannot be afforded. For other public sector workers, Ritchie gave his assent for a rise between 5 and 7%. This is what the independent pay body recommended, and it seems the unions are ready to commend it. So, good news there, but next day, what a bummer. Gatwick Airport staff will strike in peak summer. AI takes over humans. How would it be? Now there's a movie blockbuster we'd all like to see. Midnight Thursday, Hollywood workers went on strike against streaming platforms, Netflix and the like. It seems this sci-fi movie may be coming true. AI leaving thesps and scribes with no job to do. Beware, this film may soon be showing near you.